What is up, brothers? Mashallah, time for part 3 of dealing with female promiscuity as a man. So, we were talking about how evolution has built our psyche and our biology, and how men basically cannot be angry or disturbed by women because it's a transgenerational thing. We are one and the same species. Evolution has built a brilliant psyche in both men and women to deal and to cope with the harsh, cruel, arbitrary realities of life. So, if you want to be attractive as a man, first off, a woman checks off your general desirability, and if you make it, it comes with personal preferences. And if you make it over, then, she's gonna look, do other women want him? Do other men respect him? All these things matter. Then there's the ovulation cycle, which is hidden even from women themselves. And it's basically a way how the female gets back power from patriarchal institutions. Because I think we cannot deny that our society is kind of patriarchal. Because matriarchies, they just don't work. And we wouldn't have all this comfort and technology and inventions and thing if we were a matriarchy. So men are the biggest threat to women. So it's evolution's way, the hidden ovulation cycle is evolution's way to give women control, unconscious control. They lie to themselves, which makes them able to lie to men and to society in general. It gives them the control. They confuse males by being confused themselves. But just as women have like creep detectors, men have 3 or 4 detectors. It's just as powerful. It's their bodies and their arousal that does the real reproduction work, like who is fit, who is not fit, who gets to fertilize the egg and who doesn't. So females who are ovulating, for example, they prefer top dogs, bad boys, while women who are not ovulating, they prefer boyfriends and dad bods, to take care of the children, for food provisioning. It's alpha fucks and beta bucks. Don't be duped. Do your paternity test. So it's also basically the cycle of the moon goddess. That's the area of mythology, but that's for another video. Now another thing. As women age, their preferences change because they basically make children around 20. When they're 30, they're basically old. So am I. I'm also like broken, getting old. I'm not healing that fast anymore. I'm frustrated and can't get rid of it anymore because I'm too old. So they do this because when they age, her preferences change out of maturity, experience, and decreasing options in general. Yet empirical observations indicate that young women in general, they prefer Chadwick Thundercock, while older females, they start looking for security and provision because they start to realize that La La Land is falling apart. And most of them never let it go, because if you believe something until you're 30, it's become part of your static psychic tree. So, yeah, women like sex and they really enjoy it, because women who do, they have high reproduction rates, and women who don't, they tend to disappear out of the chain of evolution. Many children with different men is basically the best evolutionary strategy, and if they succeed in making these men invest, well, then they win the lottery. So many girls have the genetic makeup of a 3 or 4. That is why in a sexually liberated world as this, the 3 or 4s are everywhere. They have gained the power and the masks have fallen off. I'm going to stop this video because we're going to start with a different chapter. I will see you later.